rising costs of goods and services amidst the pandemic, an inquiry into what makes a nation Christian, an early childhood education policy launched.
This is National EMTV News with Dennis Orere.
Good evening and welcome. This is Friday's news. Global COVID-19 restrictions have caused a marked increase in shipping costs, building materials and other imported goods. President of the Lae Chamber of Commerce and Industry, John Byrne, says those high costs will gradually be transferred to customers. Shipping costs in particular have risen by at least 10% due to international travel restrictions.
If Lae businesses are feeling the pinch with the high costs caused by global COVID-19 restrictions, people in the Highlands provinces and Momase who get their supplies from Lae are also starting to see the negative impacts as end users of the services. COVID-19 has caused a drastic reduction in the number of ships and planes coming to Papua New Guinea. The scarcity of transport is driving up costs and adding to financial pressure.
A lot of businesses are multi-shifting.
The Lae Chamber of Commerce and Industry has been speaking to its members, and they report a 10 to 15% increase in the cost of shipping.
Most businesses are trying still to maintain their people. I mean, there's a fair shedding that was happening last time.
We are trending a little below the projections at the moment. But if things continue the way they're continuing, then our collections will seriously be affected.
Paint manufacturers have also been hit hard, and the price of steel has risen. And this is resulting in a steep increase in the cost of building. And if COVID-19 continues, the end user, the consumer, will bear the brunt of those cost increases.
While the big companies have the financial cushion, the smaller companies that depend on revenues from the big players are being decimated. And this week, one of the biggest food manufacturers in Papua New Guinea, Lae Biscuits, said it was considering cutting back on its sponsorship to soccer and rugby league. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Lae.
And enforcing the COVID-19 laws has been difficult for police who have to contend with limited holding space in police cells and at the Madang Prison. Assistant Police Commissioner for the Northern Command, Peter Guinness, says the pressure is on police to manage policing and the added responsibilities imposed by the COVID-19 situation.
COVID is an act of Parliament, but so many, right now, if you walk around the street, you see so many people are not abiding by the direction from COVID and from the controller, like wearing masks and sanitizing, social distancing. This is happening, and we are not able to effectively police that, because if effecting an arrest is possible, but how can we be able to accommodate them at the Lae police cells and then take them to Buimo CIS? That will be another problem, and it will be a biggest problem to encounter if we were to do that.
The Internal Revenue Commission has made a decision to slice the GST pie that goes to NCDC in accordance with the NCDC Act. This will see IRC paying a portion of the GST revenue directly to Central Provincial Government, Gulf Provincial Government and Motu Koitabu Assembly as required under the NCDC Act. IRC Commissioner Sam Coim made this announcement yesterday.
Following this decision, first payment of the GST revenue has been paid to the three parties. This is required under the NCDC Act that 60% of the GST revenue due to NCDC will be distributed to these parties. 10% of the GST revenue will be paid to Central Provincial Government, 3% to Gulf Provincial Government and 2% to Motu Koitabu Assembly.
The NCDC Act, the law provides for the IRC to give 10% of that, 10% of the 60% to Central Province, 3% to Gulf Province and 2% to Motu Koitabu Assembly.
Over the years, the 60% GST revenue has been paid to NCDC with the hope that NCDC will distribute. According to the Commissioner General, this has never happened, which resulted in costly court proceedings and the people being deprived of basic goods and services. Following a meeting with NCD and Gulf governors, they have agreed on a way forward. The Commissioner General says a first payment has been paid to the parties and this will continue.
After so much deliberation and considering all factors, including factors that supports the decision that we've made and factors that militate against the decision, we've come to a considered position to cut the cake from here at IRC to prevent all this infighting and everything going on.
The Commissioner General says IRC is applying the law as it is, and it is to avoid further tensions and unnecessary court proceedings.
Now, if the political leaders who are in charge of these respective subnational authorities feel that an administrative body administering the law as it is not fair or not according to whatever it is, then they have the liberty to go to Parliament and change the law. But what we have done as a responsible administrative organization to diffuse all this tension is to take the action we've taken today.
Rayon Lakingu National, EMTV News.
Goroka MP Aye Tambua has been appointed as the new chairman for Public Accounts Committee. He was appointed by Parliament on Wednesday. He thanked the outgoing PAC chairman Sir John Pundari for his valuable efforts in keeping the committee active in its objectives since 2017. PAC will work together with the Public Sector Reform Committee under a joint parliamentary committee arrangement aimed at achieving a positive outcome for reforming the system of public service delivery for goods and services to the people.
Chairman Tambua, in thanking the Parliament for his appointment, restated the mission of the PAC as a facility to hold to account the use of public monies and properties and provide reports to Parliament, as well as looking into matters of national importance brought to attention by Parliament. He also thanked the former chairman, Sir John Pundari, for his leadership in the enquiries into key government departments and state agencies recently. Tambua says the committee under his leadership will continue with some of those important enquiries.
Firstly, I'd like to say thank you to the government, especially the Prime Minister, for entrusting me. I also want to say thank you to the former chairman, Sir Pundari. He's done a marvelous job with the health sector report, and as part of this committee, my plan is to continue with that report, and we'll go ahead and follow up on what the former chairman has done, the former committee has done with the health sector.
Mr. Tambua was formally welcomed by Deputy PAC Chairman and Special Parliamentary Committee Chairman of Public Sector Reform, Gary Jufa.
Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, the Honourable Aye Tambua, who is the member for Goroka, and he comes in to fill very large shoes left by former chairman, the Honourable Sir John Pundari, and take on from there with the work that had been undertaken by the Public Accounts Committee, inquiring into matters of financial interest to the nation.
Chairman of the two parliamentary committees pledged to work together in the pursuit of common interests, where PAC will be dealing with financial and accountability aspects, while the Public Sector Reform Committee will deal with policy, legal and administrative issues.
We've already discussed strategies as to how we will work together, not just I as his deputy chairman for the Public Accounts Committee, but as the two relevant committees that are addressing issues pertaining with the reforms of the public sector, as well as scrutinizing the expenditure of public funds by various organizations, entities and individuals in the country.
Suli, National EMTV News.
The Early Childhood Education Policy, or ECE policy, was launched by the Education Department today. 3 significant studies were undertaken over 10 years, paving the way for the development of the ECE policy. Early childhood education is currently offered in private school. However, with the launch of the ECE policy, parents and guardians can opt for early childhood learning through the national education system. Kilawani reports.
The early childhood education policy was officially launched today by the Minister for Education, Jimmy Uguro, at the Papua New Guinea Education Institute. This historical launch is the first time Papua New Guinea will have such a policy recognized and approved by the government to be implemented, anchored and linked to the national education system.
This marks the important occasion for all of us and the country as a whole. Education department and education system plays a very important role in educating not big dogs but human beings for better. This marks the important occasion for all of us and the country as a whole.
The ECE policy aims to improve the quality of education, to develop a knowledge-based society, promote holistic child development, and provide clear roles and responsibilities for implementers. Education Secretary Dr. Uke Kombra and the Minister for Education during the launching called on relevant stakeholders and partners for effective and efficient implementation.
It will require all of us to work together. The Education Department, the Teaching Service Commission, all the churches, our development partners, different levels of government, the community.
The plan is good. If we don't have the dedication and commitment and love of teaching to transfer the knowledge and skills to others, we will just waste our time launching this plan today. To challenge all of us to put into practice as to how we can better manage this policy going forward.
The ECE policy under the 1.66 structure, preschools are replacing elementary schools. A preschool is an educational establishment offering ECE before children begin primary school. The preschool age requirement as set out in the policy for Kindergarten 1 is 4, Kindergarten 2 at age 5 and compulsory preparatory at age 6. Children outside the approved ages are forbidden from enrolling into the ECE programs. UNICEF PNG, Australian High Commission, among other stakeholders, have been part of the development of the policy through funding and technical support. While the launching of the policy is a critical step going forward for early childhood learning in the country, UNICEF representative Dr. Claude Kamenga hopes to see a return on this policy.
We have so many policies, and the challenge usually is effective implementation of those policies. So I would say it's so critical that we see this policy effectively implemented for us to see the return on this important investment. Thank you very much.
In the Minister's address, the early childhood education policy addresses the quality of education at a very early age. This is consistent with the Sustainable Development Goal, Target 4.2, which states that by 2030, all boys and girls will have had access to quality childhood development. Kilawani, National EMTV News.
Among stories after the break, police mediate between warring factions, a new police post in Moresby South Electorate, and refurbishing a long-neglected health centre. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. An inquiry on the declaration of Papua New Guinea as a Christian nation was launched by Prime Minister James Marape this morning. With the global community influencing most countries around the world, the government is now asking the question what kind of country PNG can aspire to become. Prime Minister James Marape is leading the way, and through the Constitutional Law Reform Commission, officers will be tasked to consult the 22 provinces. With today's technology and foreign ideas filtering through, the CLRC officers will gauge the views of churches, NGOs and others on their beliefs and values.
At the launching of the inquiry on the declaration of PNG as a Christian country, Prime Minister James Marape says they have committed 2 million kina to the consultation process. Consultation and data collection will be carried out by the Constitutional and Law Reform Commission and will cover 22 provinces using the latest technologies and will also be done manually. Links will be provided on social media platforms such as Facebook for people to access and have their say.
One of the things that we're doing, if you go on CLRC website, we have a publication and other information there. But within that particular website also we have a section for questionnaires where public can go on and then answer questions, and then they can click and it will record all the information they provide.
Commissioner Reverend Jack Urame says PNG is part of the global community where our ideas and behaviors about what is good and bad can be easily influenced. He further added that we may lose our identity as a country if we are not careful. PM Marape says Christian identity can underpin collective unity.
Christian values is for nation building and nation unity. And I believe that in the world of many different religions, we must, through consensual provisions, make it clearer, better, augment it, so that the light of Christianity beams also out from our supreme law, our constitution, that it can forever stand as a torch to guide our nation in our characters. The beliefs and values that we must uphold to filter foreign ideas, foreign influences on our beliefs and our values. So it is timely now that the NEC in its decision number 234 of 2020 have resolved to declare Papua New Guinea now a Christian country. The basis on which the NEC decided to declare Papua New Guinea a Christian country were that 3/4 of Papua New Guineans are practicing Christian.
Mr. Isifu says for consultation, CLRC will be asking 4 simple questions to the people.
One, to declare Papua New Guinea a Christian country. Do you agree? Do you want Papua New Guinea to be announced or declared as a Christian country in our national constitution or Mama law?
The consultation process on the declaration of Papua New Guinea as a Christian nation will commence on the 28th of April and will go on for a month. Gertrude Gabi, National EMTV News.
Lay police facilitated a mediation amongst ethnic leaders from groups who were involved in the 5-mile clash over the weekend. The Metropolitan Commander Chris Kunyanban said they signed an agreement resolving to stop the fights. However, if it continues, they will be answerable. 2 people were killed during the clash, which started as a disagreement between settlers over a block of land.
The clash started when 2 settlers argued over the use of this piece of land in the 5-mile area in Lay. It escalated into an ethnic clash when one of the men attacked the other, instantly killing him. More than 20 houses were burnt down and 2 men gruesomely killed.
The guy got frustrated over the argument, heated argument, and he slashed the Gurkha, one of the Gurkha guy, with a bush knife, and he died instantly. He was 31 years old. And the fight started from there on Sunday.
On Wednesday, a mediation amongst the ethnic leaders was facilitated by police. Lay's Metropolitan Commander Chris Kunyanban said the leaders signed an agreement vowing an end to the clash and ways forward to address the issue. If the fighting continues, these leaders will be answerable.
The agreement now, as I speak to you, is taken to the courthouse. Using that agreement, we will obtain a restraining order and we will serve it on to those leaders. Should there be any fight, we will bring all those leaders in and they will go before the court, and the court will determine what will happen to them.
Kunyanban stressed that the piece of land belonged to neither one of the ethnic groups involved. He said this is the result of having illegal settlers squatting on customary land, causing more law and order problems.
Most of those people who started the fight are staying inside the swamp area. And the swamp area is the customary land. They got it off illegally from the locals, and they illegally settling there. And that is a concern that we will address later with other stakeholders.
Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Leh.
The RPNGC has obtained an eviction order for people squatting on a portion of police land next to the Bumbu barracks in Leh. The order was issued by the court yesterday. The squatters have lived there for years, with some claiming ownership of the land. ACP Peter Guinness says the order now gives clarity to the long-standing dispute over the land. He says the settlers will be given notice and told to leave. The 12-kilometer road from the main road to Beyond Correctional Facility in Madang needs maintenance. Beyond Jail Commander Superintendent Andrew Police says the bad road conditions have affected both CS and police operations, especially when inmates are taken to town to attend their court cases.
Beyond Correctional Institute depends on this road to carry out their daily operations. But the road has deteriorated so much that is adding to the prison's security concerns.
Because of the bad road conditions, it causes the security threats.
The bad road is driving up maintenance cost of the vehicles used by the prison. Several number of inmates have escaped from prison vehicles as warders drive slow down to negotiate the bad roads.
I think already two times prisoners have escaped from our vehicle when we take them down to town for court. Both the national and the national court and the district courts. Because of the bad road conditions, when the driver goes and slow down on the bumpy areas, prisoners normally jump.
Yesterday, a team from the Madang District Courthouse and police prosecution team went to Beyond to conduct committal court hearing. The team had been traveling to Beyond to conduct committal hearings because it has become too risky to bring prisoners into town.
Due to security reasons, to prevent escape, they came up here. That's because of the security reasons. Two, because of the second reason is because of the road conditions.
And there is another problem. This wooden bridge connecting Beyond to the main road. The boards are starting to break. Another year without maintenance and the bridge will not be fit to use. Family members of inmates are also disappointed over the poor state of the road. Kulumat Yuyao says some of the relatives live outside of town and had to travel to Beyond to attend to their relatives' court cases.
So, this lakan workboat mi belakang mi plan how much long up area where mi belakang area of government. Government must look sabelo this lakan na. They must look sabelo road condition na.
The prison has also taken measures to counter COVID-19 at the facility. Prisoners are now locked up at the main compound with wearing of face mask mandatory. Visiting hours both on weekends and weekdays by relatives was restricted.
COVID-19 in Madang is very high now. So that's why we lock them up. Not in the cell, but inside the compound. They are inside the compound, but they are locked up not to come out.
Martha Luis, National EMTV News, Madang.
A new police station will be constructed near the Koki Market in Port Moresby. Moresby South MP Justin Tachenko says the new facility will help strengthen law enforcement in his electorate and the city as a whole.
The construction of the new police post is a joint venture between NCDC, district government in the Moresby South electorate, and the police. Member for Moresby South Justin Tachenko says law enforcement is priority and this new post will make it possible in Moresby South and NCD.
This police post will have a holding cell
for criminals that are convicted. They'll get processed here in this new police station. And then from there as well, it'll be an inquiry desk as well for general public on all matters of crime relating in this local area. The police post will take, I would say, roughly 10 to 12 months to complete, and will be completed hopefully either by the end of this year or the beginning of 2022.
Governor Pakop, who did the groundbreaking of the new police post, echoed similar sentiments, highlighting the need for more police presence in strategic locations in the city. He continues, everyone should work together to fight crime with the assistance that the new police post will give.
This is our responsibility. It's a collective responsibility. Police yet don't are working on their own. Minister and me, we cannot deliver it on our own. You may need the line to appreciate, understand the importance of security, importance of maintaining peace, importance of building respect. This is what this initiative is about.
ACP, NCD and Central Anthony Wagambi Jr. acknowledged the collective effort of the member for Mosby South and the NCD governor. He further addressed concerns raised about police brutality in the city.
Police brutality, allegation against the police, can come up. Yes, I'm true. You can't hear come up, but now people on the Metsu Blomibla, Mr. Kumu, we come to Nipla Metsu NCD, one time also Commander Blom. We are working our way forward to make policing service a more community-oriented policing service.
Member for Mosby South, Justin Tachenko, says this groundbreaking ceremony will be the first of many law and order initiatives that will come about. Gertrude Gabi, National, EMTV News.
And now looking at the Nest Fund market report, the Kina closed unchanged at $0.2850 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina was buying $0.2775 $0.3554 Australian dollars, $0.2227 euro and 29.32 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher, coffee and cocoa closed higher, copra closed lower. Palm oil and copper closed higher, crude oil is trading higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 321.41 points lower. The ASX 200 is trading at 1.05 points higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading at 4.23 points higher. National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. The former leprosy center outside Mount Hagen City, now a health center, will see its first refurbishment after more than 7 decades in existence. The European Union, UNICEF and Mount Hagen City Authority, under its Clean Plaque Community project, selected Togoba Health Center as one of its recipients. Work will begin tomorrow.
The Togoba Health Center building and staff houses have stood the test of time since 1949, when it first operated as a leprosy center. It was selected under the EU and UNICEF's WASH program. The program looks at building clean toilets and water system for schools, communities and health centers as a prevention and control measure to improve health, reducing poverty and improving socio-economic development, as well as responding to global emergencies and outbreaks of life-threatening illnesses.
Plenty improvement they come up inside all communities now. All money working good toilet, only put him soft of ventilation you go on top, low smell again go, only karamavim toilet pit, outside only put him water and soap low wash him on. Now Clean Plaque Community LT community now, and by you come up all good blood line.
Due to the rundown facility, it does not attract health workers. The limited number of staff are struggling to provide healthcare services to a population of about 22,000 people in 3 districts. 3 surrounding schools have also benefited from the WASH project. Care International WASH Program Manager Patrick Goimba says the program focuses on hygiene and sanitation. However, given the situation of the health facility, they will renovate the health center as well.
Free of charge, no to give like sim no ben back him. One people talk thank you, when by give him go back all these blood donors. Look up him when something will give him blood.
Togoba Health Center used to be run by the Seventh-day Adventist Mission. It is currently under the Western Highlands Provincial Health Authority on an agreement basis. The Western Highlands SDA Mission General Secretary, Pastor Solomon Paul, thanked the donor partners and also questioned the PHA on the funding they had received to build a new hospital building. A structure was built and has been idle for nearly 9 years.
Silip sore long up. Please all news line you put him on news na. Let him country savena, health minister mas savena. Address him this issue.
Care International will start the reconstruction work tomorrow and will complete it in 4 weeks' time. It will be built at a cost of 81,000 kina. Vasanata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
The senior manager of Water PNG in Lae, Martin Bigiglin, says areas that are without proper water connections within Lae are those that are on customary land. He was replying to questions as to why some parts of the city still do not have water supply. Mr. Bigiglin says the landowners as the landlords are to provide land titles to his office as per Water PNG regulations for water to be connected to these areas.
Water PNG Senior Manager in Lae, Martin Bigiglin, says one of the main reasons why some areas within the city are without water connection is because these areas are within customary boundaries. This limits Water PNG, who have regulations in place to deal with legal land titles. As the landlords of people settling on customary land, landowners are to provide Water PNG these legal documents before they proceed with water connection.
So customary land is difficult to get water into because you can have disputes. But what we have done last year up is that people have come and asked for water, like Malang. So we asked them to go back and talk to the landowners. And we do have an agreement. So the landowner comes with those people that because those people settled there because the landowner gave them land.
Mr. Bigiglin said about 8,000 out of an expected 20,000 customers have water connections. Water PNG in Lae is communicating with ward councillors to connect more communities.
So when people come, we tell them you go and take a ward member, then come in and we sign this and then we get it.
Other reasons for a narrow spread of water supply within Lae are because of illegal connections and non-payment of water bills. Water PNG is now setting up water meters in central locations to avoid such illegal activities.
We don't go and connect center house, but we have a central location where the meters are all located in the central location. Because when we have water lines going straight to individual houses, people actually they connect into the line and get free water.
Meanwhile, according to the Water PNG Lae office, Lae residents, including government entities and private businesses, owe the company a total of 28 million kina in outstanding water bills. Charlene Airy, National EMTV News, Lae.
Trukai Sports is next. All the details after the break. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The SP-PNG Hunters will have a burning desire to regain the Kokoda Cup when they take on Intrust Super Cup heavyweights Burleigh Bears in the annual Anzac Day Showdown. The Hunters haven't held the Kokoda Cup since 2017 and will look to turn the tables on Sunday.
This weekend's Round 5 clash between the SP-PNG Hunters and Burleigh Bears will see the two teams compete in the annual Anzac Day Showdown. With the Kokoda Cup up for grabs, the Hunters will be looking to retain the trophy after almost 4 years, having last won the Cup in 2017. The previous two clashes for the Cup have been disappointing for the Hunters, with Burleigh coming out victors 34-18 in 2018 before storming to a thumping victory over the Hunters 56-4 2 years ago. Fortunes have changed this year, with the Hunters surging into the weekend in third place with 3 consecutive wins, while the Bears, the reigning premiers, are in 12th place with 1 win from their first 4 matches. Hunters coach Matthew Church is yet to make a call on injured hooker Watovo Puara Jr., who will be given more time to recover from an ankle injury sustained in last Saturday's win over the Sunshine Coast Falcons. Puara will break the Hunters' record for the most games played in the ISC and remains one of only 2 players in the squad for Sunday's match to have previously won the Kokoda Cup back in 2017. If declared fit, Puara will make his 115th appearance for the Hunters, making him the most capped player in the club's history. Puara and Watson Boas played in the 2017 victory against the Bears team that will feature 5 players from that game, including forward and fellow PNG Kumul prop Luke Page. Haksi Lovai, Trukai Sports.
Focus on the Code of Rugby League has gone up a notch as the central provincial government looks at infrastructure development in the province. One school in the province is currently in talks with the central provincial government to become possibly the first rugby league school in Papua New Guinea.
With sports being part of the central provincial government's plans in building solid foundations and good systems for sustainability into the future, Governor Robert Agarobe has a number of plans currently underway. One of these includes the establishment of a rugby league academy within the province.
We're also looking at allocating one of our provincial high schools to be a rugby league academy. We've eyeballed Yerwari High School, and we've already had preliminary discussions with the board and the management of the school.
The school will also serve as the home ground of the Dabaris, the province's flagship team.
To hold them up there and also to use the Yerwari High School rugby league field as the Dabaris home ground.
The governor adding, along with this sports academy, a main complex for the province.
But in the bigger picture, in the long run, we are looking at building our main stadium at Bautama.
While the CPG is focused on getting these plans off the ground, Central Dabaris Rugby League Management has been driving the focus of CPG through its Development Pathways program.
In the last few months, we have visited every corner of this province to establish leagues. And why it's important is because Central Dabaris belongs to the people of Central Province. And without having a proper established feeder system in the province that taps talent all the way from the schoolboy level as early as 6 years old.
Suli, Trukai Sports.
And that story wraps up Trukai Sports, the weather report for the next 24 hours after these messages. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Moniplus, with you always.
Regional weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region: Port Moresby, Kerema and Poponeta, cloudy with rain periods; Daru, cloudy periods with brief showers; Alotau, cloudy with some showers. To the Momasa region, all centers to be cloudy with some showers. To the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau and Buka, cloudy with some showers. Kavieng, few showers. Kokopo and Rabaul, some showers. Kimbe, showers. And to the Highlands region, all centers to have few overnight showers than morning fog.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by Moniplus, with you always.
And that's the news, sports and weather for this Friday, the 23rd of April 2021. Enjoy your weekend. Good night.